right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of D-Pod. All right. So we're actually recording this back to back with that other episode that you probably just heard. The one where Eden and team are just giving me a hard time about not having a D-Pod episode in a long time. All right. So here we go. All right. We are going to just do a quick little episode about our experiences in the loop. And with me here in the studio, I have portion of our loop pod, what we're calling the loop pod, which is a subset of the staff that are focusing on downtown outreach. All right, so down the line here we have Matthew.
Hey.
Jason.
Hello.
Eden. What's so funny, Eden? Giselle. Okay, and Giselle and Genji. And Huna. Okay, so welcome. Eden, what's so funny?
I can't stop.
You're so happy that we're recording D-Pod. Oh my goodness.
That's what it is.
Okay.
He's overwhelmed with
Okay, so hey, it's been we're in like week 6, right? So we're traditionally a quarter school ministry, right? Because we've been reaching out to Chicago over the years, and then Illinois Tech. But then because Illinois Tech always felt not our primary campus, so then we kind of always our schedule revolved on the quarter school. But this year, since we made the big shift, we've been doing outreach since early August, and it is like October now.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So we have about 6 weeks of outreach experience in downtown. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Okay. So just a few personal reflections. All right. As you think about it. Okay. But first, let's just start. For people who are maybe unfamiliar with our ministry or haven't seen us yet, we have this new addition to our outreach team, which is that everywhere we go, there's this shark, that shows up
around,
everywhere we go. This shark is always there.
Yes. I think his name is Shuba.
His name is
Never
Shuba?
heard that.
It's not Shathu?
It's usually Shafi.
It depends on who's in it.
Okay. I think sometimes it's sheepy. So,
This is the first I've heard of these.
oh, you've never heard of these, huh?
So many names.
Anyone know the story behind the shark? Like, how did that even start?
I think it was my friend Robin, who's part of the international
That's my housemate.
group. Basically, I think when she was back in Berkeley, she had a friend who would help with youth ministry. And for some reason or another, bought a shark because they wanted to get the attention of the youth while they're doing outreach to the youth and different things like that. And then Robin moved to Chicago, and Brandon and Cindy, who were leading the international team at the time, their child was Neo, and she loved baby sharks. So Robin thought maybe I should buy a shark costume. So then for Neo's second birthday, I think, she just showed up in the shark costume and danced, and she had a vision in her heart that one day this costume could be used for ministry in Chicago.
Lord, really,
Wow. So we
So she just held on to it.
Yeah, but-
not knowing where it would be used. But then we changed our name to Voyage, right? That's pretty recent, about a year ago, year and a couple months ago. And I think she had an epiphany that, oh, maybe it could be used for that. And then basically, okay, so what happened is that, when you're doing outreach in downtown, there's a lot of stuff happening in downtown, right? There's lots of lights and sounds. And so to try to get the attention of people, just to get them to look at you, you have to kind of do something big. So you either have to have a really big tabling gear, like really impressive tabling gear, or you can have a shark, right? And so we decided to try the shark, and so far I feel like it's helped us.
Yeah.
It's helped us. I think people, what's some funny stuff that has happened? Like I remember there's lots of selfies, like lots of random people coming up to us,
Lots of toddlers.
including everywhere from kids to cops.
Right,
Yeah, the cop.
Yeah, there was at one time we were just walking down next to University Center, and then the cop pulled up and started blasting Baby Shark out of his speaker.
It's an undercover cop, right?
It was an undercover cop. Yeah.
Not anymore.
And so, lots of fun interactions with the city. But I think it does. I think in my mind, I think what it causes people to do is it lowers their barriers a little bit. Oh, because if they just see the banner that says church, they're like, they don't really. But then if they see a shark, they're like, huh. I've never seen that before. Right? So at least it just gives them to do a double take, and then maybe we get a few extra seconds with them. So how many of you have been in the shark? Pretty much all of you.
Everybody?
All of you here, right? Okay.
Giselle?
Oh, except for Giselle. Okay, well, Giselle, you're next.
You just exposed yourself.
You gotta step it up.
So I think our most prolific shark here is probably the Matthew shark.
I mean, Shathu.
The Shathu.
I see.
So Shathu, could you tell us what is it like? What is it like being in the shark? Like for people who have never been in the shark before?
I guess it depends on the weather. We were doing a lot of the outreach inside during the summer. And so during the summer, there was a lot of lack of ventilation, so to say. So if you were in there for a little too long, sometimes you get a little lightheaded. So that was unfortunate. Beyond that, it's kind of hard to see because you have this small visor window to look out of, but it's like plastic that's kind of wrinkled. And
also, we don't really want you to look out of it. Because something I've been telling all of our sharks. So we've been refining our shark strategy because I realized when people see the shark, they want to believe that it's actually a shark. It's this weird thing. Obviously, there's somebody inside, right? But it's like going to Disneyland.
Yeah.
You know that Disneyland's fake, but inside of Disneyland, you don't want to be reminded of the outside world. It's sort of like that. And when you're looking at the shark, you do not want to be reminded that there is a 25-year-old male standing inside, right?
Yeah.
You just want to be like, oh, what a cute shark. And so it is crucial. It is absolutely crucial that whoever's in the shark does not show their face.
Yep.
Yeah, we do not want to see your face.
true.
We want to see baby shark's face or daddy shark's face, whatever your interpretation of that shark is. So that is something that I've been instructing her. So it is hard to see, which means that, at least my experience of being in the shark, is that you kind of lose touch with the outside world. You don't really know what's happening outside, but you just keep acting like
moving.
you just keep dancing and moving and acting like a friendly shark.
Yeah. I guess the other biggest thing would be it's all inflatable, right? This is an inflatable shark. It's not like, I don't know, closer to your skin suit or whatever. But what that means is that to move the shark, generally your arms have to be like in the armholes and whatnot. And for some people, just due to the way their bodies are shaped, the arms can be a little bit too high up sometimes. And
What are you saying? They're short?
He's
some
I
people,
think he's
referring to
talking to you,
myself,
Eden.
yes.
Okay, first of all.
Whoa.
2 inches tall. I'm sure that means so.
I see some people are also agreeing with what I'm saying here, but you have to kind of learn how to use the shark and be able to get the most bang for your buck without actually straining your shoulders or whatnot, so to say.
And there's something that people might not appreciate about the logistics behind the shark, which is that whoever's in that shark gets really sweaty, especially when it's hot outside, which means that the shark costume gets wet with sweat, which means that we have to basically wash it every day. So basically Matthew and some other people who have been in charge of the tabling, they've just every time we come home, they throw it in the washer, make sure it's dried. Like it's been a daily thing that they have to do. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
And so many batteries.
Yeah, many batteries.
Order so many
batteries.
Always
Yes.
have to replace them.
Also, shout out to Robin,
Yay, Robin.
because
Robin.
it looks like there's printed text on the front of our shark.
Oh yes.
That's not printed.
man.
That's Robin's
It's
hand.
handwriting.
Art.
Yes. Yeah, so we branded our shark so that whenever people take pictures with it, they'll know that it was for Voyage College Church. So thank you, Robin.
Robin.
So kind of as you guys think about what we've been attempting, it's been neat, right? So we've been getting about, I guess before U Chicago showed up this past Sunday, we've been getting about, I want to say like 40 to 50 new students from the Loop every week. Yeah. And so these are students that we wouldn't have known before. I mean, we have something like 12 or 13 students in midweek mentorships with us from the Loop. So this, it's just, we've had the experience of starting something from scratch, from nothing. And and kind of the difficulties around that, as well as how rewarding that can be. So as you guys think back on the past 5-6 weeks, what are you thankful for as you reflect on that?
Yeah, I'm thankful for how we've been able to meet students at all in downtown. I think something, I guess, it's also been hard because, there's a lot of people in downtown and you don't always know who's a student and who's just, working professional or tourist or high
Or
schooler.
a lot of high schoolers.
You have to make a lot of assumptions sometimes. But I think I'm thankful that we've been able to meet students and somehow students have heard about the things that we're putting on, like Boba Social or Sunday service. And they find out through different means, like chalking, like something I don't really think about that much. But I'm thankful that we can try all these things like chalking and flyering and having the shark run around with us or walk around with us. And all these students from different like small campuses have somehow heard.
Yeah. One thing, just throw a stat out there is at our latest Boba Social that we did 3 weeks ago or something like that, we got 130 students come through, and that's like excluding the people we had to turn away. Maybe 20 to 30 people we turned away because we had too many people show up. Yeah, which to me just shows me, wow, there's people, college students in the loop that are hungry for community, right? Hungry for free boba too, I guess. But like boba social, and they're willing to come. And it's not like those students, a lot of them, they stayed to do the social part of it and things like that. So there's definitely something there. And then to your point, Giselle, just the fact that we have these like 50 or so students coming out. I remember like when we were doing our downtown experiment back in April, just for those couple outreach Sundays, we were praying for 5 students to show up, right?
Oh yeah.
And that felt like impossible at that time. Like, how are we going to find 5 college students? And we have 50 of them coming out. So yeah, we had small faith, but Lord's been kind of enlarging our vision for what could possibly happen, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thankful that these are students that we like wouldn't have been able to minister to otherwise, and yet now we get the chance to. We see that a lot of them have different needs. There's some that are really spiritually hungry, and yeah, I mean, some people have made decisions already, and we've heard like one student who said that when he heard that message, or for him, it was like one of the first times he heard the gospel, and it was like the room cleared out and it was just him before God. And yeah, like that, we get to minister to these students. We get to feed their souls and yeah, preach the gospel to them. And maybe they wouldn't have heard it otherwise.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't have found a spiritual home otherwise. And so, yeah, just really thankful we get to be that for a lot of these students.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I mean, it's been really cool seeing downtown in a different way, because I go in person to work every single day, and I think I have a way of looking at the city as just people well-dressed, Chicagoans walking around really tall buildings. But now I think as a consequence of doing downtown outreach and ministry, I feel like my heart for the city has grown in a way that just being here in Hyde Park hasn't done that for the city of Chicago. I feel a lot more connected to the city, and not just to the college students, but to all the other people, that I see downtown. And I think I've been praying for other ministries in Chicago in ways I've never prayed for them before. Like when I see all of the business professionals, I suddenly feel, man, gosh, they should know the gospel, And I see all of the tourists, I'm like, oh man, they should know the gospel too. And I think I feel a lot of affection and joy when I meet other, ministers or Christians at different churches downtown, because I'm like, okay, yeah, we're doing all of this together. And I think that's something that I have only gotten to experience as a consequence of going out, downtown and doing outreach to college students specifically. So yeah, I'm really thankful, to the Lord for expanding my heart for the city in this way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I've definitely experienced, like, I didn't realize this until I guess we were doing this, that Hyde Park is such a bubble, right? And we spend so much time in Hyde Park. And so then, in some ways, we're not aware of what's even going on downtown. But now we know everything that's going on. Yeah. Because we fight for parking every week.
All the races, all the games.
Literally, we're like, please, we're trying to get to downtown, but all the roads are blocked off. So that's been kind of fun. Yeah, I'm just thankful because I don't think any single one of us could say, I want to reach students in downtown, and even know like how we would even begin to do that. But I think only because we have a context where we have a team full of people who are willing to just do it together. Okay, yeah, me standing there by myself in front of these towering buildings and trying to, say, hey, you want to come get free boba at this boba social? That feels a lot more intimidating than if there's 8 people there at the same time, plus a shark, plus a Shathu there. And, and it's just somehow it just feels more fun. Okay, you know what? It's okay. We're just doing it together. And, like we'll experience the ups and downs of that together. And then thankful for, and, who came down, they hadn't started yet. So they came down on several occasions to help us, doing a lot of flyering and surveying alongside us. Yeah. And then our students, our UChicago students who've been around, and then the IIT students who now, they actually had a real fall welcome experience, just doing outreach alongside us. Just thankful for that. This is something that really the church has to do together, man. I'm sure there's some really heroic missionary types out there who can do it on their own. But for most of us, like, we need the context of the church to be able to attempt something that seems this impossible. So I feel like it's been a testament to what the church can attempt together. Yeah, just to highlight some more numbers so far, we've done something like 1,100 or 1,200 surveys.
Oh, wow.
Right. And we had 130 students at our first Welcome Sunday. Yeah. And then this coming Sunday, we have our open house, which is sort of our Welcome Sunday number 2, focus on the quarter school. So we'll see what the turnout's like there. All right. Not that it's just about the numbers, but it is encouraging because to those people who come, we do preach the gospel and, want to show them a good time, feed them good food and show them, hey, church is a place that you can come to, if you have questions in the future. And at least they've had that experience of coming through the doors once. Hopefully we leave them with a good impression. Hey, what's been, it's been sort of maybe implied in some of their answers already, but what's been hard about downtown outreach? Because it's not all been fun, right?
I think something that's been hard is just being in downtown, like in the streets of downtown, trying to do outreach. So far, my experience of outreach has been like in a campus where it's like, safe and that everybody around you is a student. Like security is people are there and whatnot. But then in downtown, I feel like I have a heightened sense of awareness / like fear of like different things that could happen, like people with bad intentions maybe coming up, or just even the sheer amount of like noise and the ambulances that go by and the cars that are honking. I think that I feel kind of overwhelmed at times by that. And I think that's just been kind of hard. It's not anything like spiritual per se, but I think just feeling that fear and like anxiety has been kind of wearing me down. So I think I really am thankful for all the people that have been helping us with outreach. And like when we go out, like DP was saying, we're going out in 8. We're not going out even by like 2s, right? Like we're going like by the dozen, like kind of, it really feels, like downtown feels like this intimidating place, but because we're all there together, like it's not so scary and we can make it fun and we can make it joyful. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think something for me and kind of maybe along similar veins has just been feeling the importance of geography and distance. Because we spent so long, doing outreach and ministry at UChicago while living basically on campus. And now we're doing outreach and trying to take time out of our days to make the trek over to downtown and do stuff there. And it's not just, downtown's 20 minutes away, but depending on when you go and traffic, it might be like a 45-minute one-way drive. And then you have to find parking if you haven't been able to try and arrange that beforehand. And
it's like an additional 15-minute walk.
Yeah, exactly. And, we're all still like working. And so if I was planning to take my lunch break to do that, suddenly I have to plan that out a lot more intentionally and put more I don't know, weight and commitment behind that. And it's been something that has, I think, led to a lot more, I suppose weight is a good word for it, behind, trying to go out and do outreach and trying to go out and do ministry and realizing that it's not like I can just kind of casually head out there for 30 minutes to an hour and then be back really quickly. But it's something that we have to consider and then also make the most of, because sometimes it's just logistically more challenging to go out there and you have to really make every minute count while you're there. Yeah, just trying to work around that logistically and plan around that, as well as being able to, be smarter and kind of more resilient also about just the time it takes to go out and come back.
Yeah. And maybe if I reframe that a little bit, I think the more difficult logistics around doing downtown outreach, I think it does test your convictions. Right? Because, if doing ministry, I mean, not that Chicago ministry has ever been easy, but, just the logistical like, I'm going to go travel 35 minutes to downtown so I can do 15 minutes of outreach and then come back. It's sometimes it can feel like that, right? Like, really, am I going to do that? How important is it for me to do this 15 minutes of outreach and to be a part of this, right? It's like, you're going to have thoughts like that. And and the answer to that question might be that, you shouldn't do that then, but at least what I'm saying is that it causes you to really think about why you're doing what you're doing. I think we all experienced that through this. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired. To be real, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think be real. I think we've. Last year we did outreach for 2 weeks for UChicago, and then when we transitioned to wanting to do the semester school system, I think that almost tripled our workload with just all the logistics that has to go with just going to downtown and just scouting out the different colleges, and it was really fun getting to do all that. But I think one thing that I really had to fight against was just like the physical and mental exhaustion. I don't think I've gotten so angry at like commuters or like traffic since I've been here in Chicago, so that's definitely been a challenge. So it's kind of just been neat getting to see what's been revealed, what's kind of been wicked in my heart. And yeah, I think through, just the challenges that I was able to experience, I think I've grown in like just appreciation. I think DP mentioned it, that we get to do it with a larger body of Christ. And just the importance of having, just the context of the church and others to really help you pull out of those ruts. And I really feel like I've really just been able to experience, just God expanding my own heart and just compassion for the students that we get to meet in downtown. Like it's crazy that like we've done almost like over 1,100 surveys. And I think one of the things that we've done is actually like trying to pray for those students by name. So I think this experience has really taught me to be just a lot more prayerful, and just try to keep my heart fixed on God, and just kind of being reminded like why I'm doing what I'm doing. So.
I definitely feel that our staff group has been more prayerful and more dependent on what God must do in order for this to work out, because it does feel much more of an insurmountable task than, not that any college ministry is easy, but like we're doing a strategy that's just not proven. Like it's a complete risk for us to move our primary Sunday service location into a place where we have no students and say, you know what, this is what we're doing. And so I think I really like the fact that though it's caused us to depend on God. And what Jason was referring to earlier is that, we survey and we get all these names of students, and our staff have been slowly working through those names and trying to pray for every single person by name, that they would have a chance to hear the gospel and to, interact with Jesus one day. So I think we're at about 800 out of those, like 11 to 1,200 so far. So we keep working at that. Yeah. Overall, I just, you know what? The difficulties and the hardships, it's what makes it sweet. And it's what makes, in some ways, like I was saying earlier, I think it reminds us that we do this not because it's the fun thing to do, not because it's the easy thing to do, but because we felt like it was the right thing to do. It's what Jesus was calling us to do. And so I'm thankful that we can kind of do that together as a team. And I'm wondering do you guys have any questions for me, like with regards to kind of where we are at in terms of the loop, in terms of downtown, like where we've come, where we've headed, where we're heading? Like any questions about that you want to throw back at me before we wrap this up?
I remember way back when, before we even attempted like doing loop outreach, we had asked, what I think maybe Tofumi asked, but what do you want the church, what do you hope the church to look like in a year? So I want to bring back that question now that we've actually attempted the loop, like thinking ahead to next fall. What is your vision for this church? Or what does God put on your heart?
I feel like a year is too short to say any, because I feel like a year, if I answer a year, then it would just be an incremental move. I think my vision for 5 years, like something a little longer, maybe 8 years, would be that we would be at a place where, like, I wouldn't be able to manage our church. Like, we would have to run the church very differently, because we would have homegrown leaders from each of these campuses that we could send back as missionaries to those campuses or to other campuses in Chicago. Because we've always said that the vision is, a derivative of our network vision, but launching kingdom workers from Chicagoland. And so if that's the case, we're all about, just meeting as many students as we can. And some of those people are going to really catch the vision of becoming a kingdom worker, right? Whether that be with us or with another ministry, like they're going to be people who want to bring the gospel to other people. And what I really hope is that we have something like that at every campus. Like we could say that. Like I think I can more confidently say that might be possible, because I think 6 months ago, I didn't know what a Columbia student was like. But we actually have 20 Columbia students coming out. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting a feel for what Columbia students are like. But still, we don't have, like, we have 1 or 2 coming from Roosevelt, and we have like 1 coming from SAIC. And then we have 1 from Vandercook. But there's still campuses we haven't tapped into, right? And I want to be able to tap into all the campuses, DePaul, Loyola, just even the ones we're aware of right nearby. We haven't found someone who can be that person who is the link to their campus and is able to bring the gospel. So my hope would be that in 5 to 8 years, we would have leaders that are we would have a more tiered organization, maybe somehow, where Sundays are like this big happy gathering, but then the midweek, really, it's like we actually have ministries on these campuses, right? Yeah.
Surprising to you about doing outreach in downtown
Oh,
or being in downtown?
what was surprising to me?
Yeah, or something you learned.
Oh man. I think, okay, I don't know about surprising to me, but I'll respond to something I learned, which is the importance of going and seeing what things are actually like. I think I've really learned that lesson this past year. So how actually downtown even really got started. At first it was this idea because it looked good on paper, right? Oh, there's all these campuses that we could reach out to. But on one of the, so usually on Mondays, Kata and I have these, we have time to do reflection. We have meetings. We have like our small group meetings with fellow staff at our network. But that particular day, that had all been canceled. And, the instruction we were given is, hey, go and explore new campuses and see like what there might be like new opportunities. And so we had already had downtown in mind. And so we just took that as an opportunity to we spent 3 or 4 hours just walking through downtown and visiting every single campus that we were aware of. And I think that day changed my mind. That day like solidified for me that we have to do this. So this is possible because it's actually not insurmountable. Like it's big and it's intimidating, but the campuses are finite. Like they're right there and they're actually not that far from each other. And then getting the whole team in April to just try it, even if it was really hard, just to try it and think, and then I think what really encouraged us there was the boba social, that first boba social we did where we got 80 or 50. I think 70 or 80 students. Yeah, 70 or 80 students. Yeah. So for me, the big lesson has been like not keeping all of our ideas and things like that theoretical, but in the end, you have to go and walk the grounds and you have to meet the people. And when you do that, suddenly like your perspective shifts and you're like, we have to do this because there's actually people here to minister to. That's been a leadership lesson for me. But I think that's the case also for just in day-to-day life when we try to love people. Like instead of thinking about your friend, like you should go and talk to them, like you should see how they're doing and go visit their house or something like that. And then you can make a lot more progress actually. So I think that's an important lesson overall. So, all right. I'm glad we recorded this so we can resuscitate D-Pod from the dead. Not that it was ever dead, but it was always alive.
Hibernating.
Yeah, I was taking a long nap.
What is that called? The
The
ventilator?
thing. No,
Defibrillator? A defibrillator?
Defibrillator.
Like an AED?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. All right, that's it. Here we go. All right. Thanks everybody for... Damn, I forgot how to do this outro thing. Do I lower the music or how do I usually do this?
I think.
Anyways, so yeah, thanks for joining D-Pod. Yeah, say bye everyone.
Bye-bye. Goodbye.
I need more practice at this. Ha 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 ha.